Everyone talks about goals. Make more money, travel the world, get in shape, build a business. But goals are not what actually changes your life. Because the life you're living right now is simply the result of the habits you repeat every single day. If you want a different life, you don't need different goals. You need different habits. Because once you change your habits, you change your life. With that being said, let's go straight into the video like I'm talking to my younger self. Guys, what's up? Hope everybody's doing good. Right now I'm listening a bunch to habits, goals, podcasts, and I'm writing a bunch of stuff down that really makes me improve in my life. Everybody has these big goals, right? Get in shape, make 10K a month, travel the world, and start social media. But the goals doesn't mean anything, right? You need to break it down to the habits on a daily basis that give you the best return of investment and that push you to the goals. Of course, at the beginning of this year, I wrote down all the goals I have, but this time I made it a bit different. I wrote down my goals that I had, yes, but I also wrote down the actions, the habits I need to get on a daily basis to reach these goals. I wrote down all the habits I have, going to the gym. You know, I'm going really often to the gym. That's why I'm in good shape. It's a good habit. But for example, my bad habit, I'm like almost everybody in this world. When my phone is next to me, I'm checking it every 2 minutes. It's really bad for you, right? So I knew that, and I'm sure when you watch that video, probably you have the same, or you have one habit that is really bad and you know it is bad. Because right now we only calculate the good habits. Okay, do I go to the gym or not? But what about all these bad habits? And I try to make my good habits as easy as possible and my bad habits as hard to accomplish as possible. For example, and that's really extreme, I know that, but when I'm working or when I definitely don't want to be on my phone at all, I'm blocking my phone with a blocker, right? It's a physical blocker. You need to block your phone with that. And all the apps are blocked. I also put my phone in a different room than the room where I'm working. And now it is super hard to get to that bad habit on scrolling every second minute, let's say, on my phone, by just making it super hard to achieve. And this makes a big difference for me because yes, it is extreme, but sometimes you need to be extreme and you just need to make it as hard as possible to get rid of the habit that you have. And you have a bunch of habits. For example, eating junk food, right? If you don't have junk food in the house, I don't have, shit food in the house. When something is in the fridge, it's water, it's good, healthy food, it's fruits, and basically that's it. That's my fridge. It's pretty empty. And I also prep my meals. So every evening I cook for myself 2 times. I just cook like I would do every evening. I just cook more, and then I have one for the evening and one for the midday. I only eat 2 times a day, by the way. Don't eat in the morning. That's a big thing that I also recommend. But a habit for me, a good one now, is to prep my meal. So I have my whole meal planned, prepped out for the whole day. And I cannot even eat bad food. Another thing that is extremely important is if you really want to make progress over 1 month, over 3 months, over 6 months, you need to kind of dedicate a place or like just a table or whatever it is, a chair, an environment for the specific habit you want to do. You go to the gym, right? Do you scroll in the gym, TikTok, Instagram, whatever? No, of course you don't, because it's a specific environment. Once you go in there, you just work out. You're not distracted in the gym. Do you realize that, right? It's just a really common space for a specific habit, but you can put this to literally everything you want to do. Right now I'm going to a co-working space. It's kind of an office, and I realized I get so much more productive than when I work at home because I go into that space, and the second I go into that, I'm so much more focused. I get my coffee from that coffee station that they have there. I go to my working spot and I just work, and I get my focus is so much higher. I get so much more work done, and I also love it. It's so fun to work there. What I had here in my home, in my Airbnb that I am right now, I work, but this is not a specific place to work. So there's a bunch of stuff that is going on my phone. People want to come hang out, for example, because people know where I live here right now. And then there's also the kitchen right next to me. Maybe I do get a snack from the fridge or whatever it is, right? There's so much distractions because it's a neutral room almost for everything. What I realized, to have a specific room or like a specific, it also can if you don't have 10 rooms, I get it, but a specific table and chair that is only dedicated for work. Once you sit on that chair and be in front of that table, you work right now. Or for example, you want to read a book and you have a couch that becomes a reading couch, right? So whatever you want to do is you want to create a little environment for yourself. Once you apply that on really important things on your life, then I realized I get way more stuff done once I have a dedicated space for that. I'm sitting right now most of my time in an office, which is kind of funny, but I don't mind. I actually really love working there and I get so much more work done, and it's a complete game changer. I just want that you have that information in your mind, and you need to create a dedicated space for your habits. And also another thing, I can get my book for a second. Let me get my book. Look, what I also write in my book a lot of times, I just started because the new month just started. You can have like a daily habit tracker. It's kind of just a line, I hope you can see it. And it's lifting weights, reading, video posting on IG, speaking on camera, what I'm doing right now, YouTube video, create more than you consume, really big one. Eat clean, focused, and pray, right? So once I achieve these things, I do a little X, and the things that I don't achieve, I just leave blank. So after this whole month, I have a bunch of X and I have a bunch of blank spaces, which I fucked up, right? And the X's are which I did good. But the important part is to keep the momentum high and to get momentum, because I can tell you it's really satisfying if you make X on almost everything and you get a good day, the momentum is high. For example, speaking on camera right now, I can just put an X on here, and that's just a good way to kind of make it almost a video game, or just keep the momentum high in a super simple way. And after the whole month, you can see the most X's you have, and maybe in some area you don't have any X's, so you need to actually work on that. Just a cool way that I found out on how I do my daily habits, on how I track them, for example. But it is literally about the daily habits. It's not about the goals you have. Yes, write down your goals, but then break it down to the daily habits that you have, because these daily habits decide your life, you know? Look at your last 6 months and your daily habits you had 6 months ago. Where you are right now is a absolute best view on how you lived your life for the last 6 months, for the last year, maybe even for the last 2 years. If you're overweight, I promise, or like I can guarantee, you didn't been to the gym, right? On a consistent level. I don't talk about 1 or 2 times to the gym a week. If you do X 4 times a week on this lifting weights thing, I can guarantee you, you're not overweight, right? And you can apply that on everything in your life. It's not about the gym. The gym is just a perfect example about life, right? You have a dedicated space, you go to the gym, and when you go 4 times a week, you're in great shape. I want to right now educate myself a lot through books. I think it's such a really good way to educate yourself and to level up your person, your character, whatever you want to call it, by reading books from big people that accomplished big goals, and they took, for example, 60 years to get that. They write it down in a book that is this big, and 60 years of a man's or woman's life, of a great achieved life, you can just read in like a week or 2 or even a month. And it's such a powerful way to educate yourself and level up as a person. This is a habit I just, introduced to myself new right now. It's kind of new, and to be honest, it's sometimes also hard to stick daily to reading, but that's why I'm doing that. That's why I get a dedicated couch right now where I just have my book. It's right there, and basically I just need to sit down and my brain tells me, okay, it's time for reading because my book is right next to me. It's super easy to read now. And that's kind of, yes, how you need to break down the habits to achieve whatever you want to achieve. I know also not every day is going to be perfect and you achieve all the habits, and yes, like check all the habits you have. For me, it's the same, man. Sometimes I skip a gym day, which is not so often because now I'm such into that gym almost identity that I don't really skip gym too much. But for example, reading, it's a brand new habit that I want to, check off. And yes, sometimes I fail and not read a day and it pisses me off, but that's just normal. Just make a little list like that and try to be as consistent as possible, but don't, be angry about fucking up a day. It's about the long term, Same, the gym is a perfect example. If you go to the gym and have a 6 out of 10 workout every single day, I'm in good shape, I would say, but my workouts, they're not 10 out of 10 every single time. They're literally 4 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 5 out of 10. They're not almost never a 10 out of 10 workout where I'm like, man, I smashed the gym perfect today, but I'm still in good shape. And that tells you so much about life, because you don't need to read 2 books in a week. You just need to read 10 pages, for example, every single day. It doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to stay consistent on whatever you want to do. Also, posting on Instagram. Don't try to post the best video you can post right now on Instagram. Just post one video, and even if it's shit, just post it and bring it out there, and go on to the next video and post it and bring it out there. I'm sure this video right now in YouTube, because I'm just starting super brand new here, it's not a perfect video, and I know that, right? I know that, but I want to start YouTube. I want to go big into YouTube, and I also don't really care if this video right now gets 50 views or 5,000, because I don't make it for the views right now. I know it is not a extreme well produced video. It's just me, my raw thoughts, talking to the camera like I'm talking to my younger self, and I'm aware of that. But I know if I don't post these videos, I will know progress on, getting better and better and better. It's with everything in life, like I said, if you have a shit video and you want to post on IG and you're like, it's kind of cool, but it's not the very best, bro, just post it and go on to the next one. Same with going to the gym. You don't need to have a 10 out of 10 workout. If your workout been today 5 out of 10, you've been to the gym, so you did your duty. Same with reading, same with everything in life, right? It cannot be always a 10 out of 10. The important thing is that you do it on a consistent base, on a daily base. And when you do that, I promise you, over a long time, you will see results. So with that being said, hope that video can help. I love making videos like that. I know they will not get these big audience, but it's just me, myself, talking to the camera about whatever I want. And, talking to my younger self, just giving advice. And it's also kind of cool to look back on that video. Have goals, but stick to your daily habits. They will bring you way more further than your goals. So with that being said, bye bye. Hope that can help. See you in the next video.